What's poppin', everybody? It's your boy SnowyKurama, and I am your coach for the Season 4 Chicago White Sox, as well as the co-host of the PDL this season and every season. Kind of ever. I don't know where I was going with that. But anyway, I am the coach of the Chicago White Sox here today to talk a little bit about PDL changes, as well as what my hopes are for my own team in the draft now. Up on the screen, you should see my last season's draft, with the exception of a couple of members. I ended up trading Seth, his Ambipom, for my Riviera, and I swapped Clefable for Mega Dancy and Nidoqueen for Yan Mega. So those are some unpictured changes up on the layout, and there are actually a couple of new changes that I'm going to be sort of talking about here today. First thing is my co-host Adam, the coach of the Monica Melodics, thought that it's too easy to just set up with all your OU mons and go and sweep, so we agreed to only pick 2 mons from each tier, and then at the end we do with 3 extras with 14 points to pick from. Now these points are kind of off the GBA system of drafting, where you have 10 points for an OU mon, 8 for UU, 4 for RU, and 2 for NU, and PU is now going to be included in that lineup, so that is something else we're changing. And also we're drafting Z crystals rather than just having them free reign. I feel like that is a little bit better for drafting and figuring out what your opponent's going to be doing, because there's so many different factors you already have to think of. Let's make it one less right now. Also, we are banning the Pokemon Magearna, so sorry about that, Gauge, but not sorry at the same time. And we're also banning Omni-boosting Z moves, which means no Commonium Z, no Z Celebrate, no Z Happy Hour, none of that. No Z Conversion, I believe, on your Porygons. So, yeah, there's all that. I'm not going to talk about the teams. I'm just going to talk about what I'm going to be wanting. So, in a little bit, I'm going to be setting up kind of the screen you're going to be looking at. I didn't want to do face cam this time. I figured I'll just explain everything on Showdown, and we'll be right back with that just in a little bit. Alright, we are back now with the Pokemon Showdown up and running. You can see the nice, very nice Chicago White Sox logo. I still need to send Steven the pseudo-wudo thing. I will do that after this, but you see the nice Chicago White Sox up there, and now I'm going to talk about the potential team members that I would like on my squad. So first one we're going to talk about is Mew right here. Mew has never been drafted in any season of the PDL, which I find really odd, since it can pretty much do anything and everything. Excuse me. Base 100 stats across the board. Can use any item. So can everything. Can use every move. Synchronize means that if I'm burned or toxic or anything, that my opponent will be too. And honestly, good rocker, good defogger, can set up, can use... I mean, what can't Mew do? Mew can do pretty much everything that I could want it to do. It could be a defensive wall, it could be a special attacker, physical attacker. Anything you can name, Mew can do. And that's why I think Mew would be perfect for my Season 1 first pick on my OU. Next, we're going to talk about my Mega. I'm going to go with Charizard X. I played a little bit with Zygarde, kind of thinking about that. But I figured that we don't have a fire type. I didn't have a fire type kind of thinking about it, plus no Mega at all, so I figured Charizard X to be pretty good. And a reason for that is it's got that nice 130 attack and 130 special attack, so you could run Mixed Zard, you could run Especially could run physical. Most people would probably be running physical because of the Tough Claws ability. But no one said I can't run Focused Blast. No one said I can't run Fire Blast. No one said I can't do Solar Beam, even though I probably won't be doing Solar Beam. Dragon Pulse, you could do any of these hidden powers. Heat Wave, if you would like. Air Cutter, if you want. Ancient Power, I guess, because it gets it. Belly Drum, we could set up with a Belly Drum Mega Zard. Oh my god. I don't suggest that, but who knows, we might be seeing it. Anyway, this thing is a nice and powerful Pokemon that can just break through teams with its Tough Claws boosted Dragon Claw, Outrage, Flare Blitz. I hope that they are all boosted, otherwise I sound like a dumb idiot. And also Zard X is just pretty cool. I mean, look at this guy, he's a Fire Dragon type. He's finally got his Dragon typing that we've all been thinking he should have had at the beginning. So yeah, this is Zard X. Up for UU, I want Alomomola, pretty much because we would need an Ice type answer for Zard, as well as just something that is good defensively. I feel like Alomomola really does it. It's got this base of 165 HP stat, which is crazy good. Also, we have, don't really care too much about these other stats. 80 in defense is pretty good. It is pretty decent, and special defense is 45, but that's okay, because look at this. We also have the ability Regenerator, which means we can just come in. We can use lefties, we can use our Wish support sets, we can do Healing Wish here. I do not think we get Heal Bell, but what we don't get here is what we can get in Mew. Do we get Aroma? It kind of sucks. We don't have any like cleric-y status things, but we can definitely Wish Pass. And we can take up hits, and we can Toxic, and that's pretty awesome. Plus we can Scald Burn. Great. Alomomola is in. And if we don't get Alomomola, I'm sure that I could replace that with some other water type like Primarina or something else. Maybe even in a lower tier we might pick up Milotic. That's something that I was playing around with. Anyway, Alomomola. UU. Next pick I wanted to pick is Scizor. Now Scizor I might actually put ahead of Alomomola only because I've never seen Alomomola picked, and I think Scizor has been on my team last season. I want to say it was on the season before, I don't quite remember. But Scizor is a great Pokemon, especially with Technician, and its boosts its Bullet Punch and its Quick Attack, plus it's a nice U-turner. We could toss a Choice Band on there that will really boost its base 130 attack stat. Its defense in 100 is pretty nice too, means it's bulky. 80 is just fine in special defense, I guess, and we got a 70 in HP, which is okay. This thing could also run Curse, so we could buff up our defenses, probably run a Spadef Scizor, and then just come in with our priority moves and smack up a bunch of people. We have access to Superpower as well as Knockoff, so you know, just any of those attacks you'll probably be seeing. Iron Head is on here too. Morning Sun, I guess, is a move that it gets. Okay, Roost is nice. You can earn Toxic or Tailwind as well. Swords Dance, of course. Sub as well. You know, just a bunch of things you could really do with Scizor. One of the best mons in UU to have, and I think it'd be great in our team, just like it always has. Here we are with RU. I want Jolteon because we do not have an electric type. Now, I was playing around with Zeraora or Mega Manectric up in UU, but I really wanted Scizor and I really wanted Alomomola. Alomomola actually might be switched out now that I think about it, because our Ice weakness is not as big as I was thinking it was going to be, because we're no longer drafting Zygarde. But Jolteon here, as far as right now is concerned, speed. Look at that, 130. We got 110 special attack. This thing can come in, Volt Switch, get out. We also have Heal Bell, just in case we want to run more defensive Jolteon. I have seen a defensive Jolteon ran when, during the UCL, when that was happening from Numb Nexus. So it's a thing that they can do. We also have the Quick Attack. We have the Shadow Ball here, Signal Beam, Wish support if we wanted to. We could even run Z on here, Hidden Power Ice. Pretty much this thing's gonna come in, do some chip, and get out. And also, you know, absorb some electric moves, maybe even status for quick feet. I don't know. Probably not, but you know, Jolteon, I don't think you could really ever go wrong with putting it on your team unless there's another better electric type. But as far as RU is concerned, I think Jolteon's probably the best one. Let's take a look at that. RU. And let's go electric. Electric types in RU, Jolteon, Ampharos, Rotom, and Galvantula. Okay, so I guess, yeah, all four of them are pretty awesome. I'd probably rather have one of these three rather than Ampharos, but I'd rather have Jolteon than the other guys, basically because Scissor's already glaring fire weakness that's covered up by Elemental and Charizard, but I really don't want another one. But we might take Galvantula if we can't get Jolteon. But Jolteon's going to be here to stay as far as right now is concerned. Hopefully we can get him. If not, then, you know, I just mentioned it. Up next, I'm asking for forgiveness of the Nidoqueen because I really would like this thing back on the team. We can go Life Orb, Sheer Force, which means it doesn't lose the Life Orb damage, and it's also all stacked up. So my Ice Beam, my Earth Powers, my Sludge Bombs, Sludge Waves, all these other moves that have some sort of added effect. No added effect, but it can do some big damage. That's why I think it's better to run Nidoqueen rather than King on teams, because we have that added bulk that King doesn't have. Even though it is faster, it doesn't really matter with the Queen, because we can just eat up a hit and then deal a bigger hit set on the way back. This is our Fairy Killer because of the poison moves, along with Scizor. This is our ground type, so that electric types won't be running around if we don't bring Jolteon or that thing is out of commission. We can also set up the rocks. Some toxic spikes can be set up with this thing too. I don't think we get spikes. I think it's just toxic spikes, yeah. And then, you know, rocks, as I said before. And Mew can defog wave rocks and stuff, so can Jolteon, not Jolteon, Scizor. So I think we have that pretty much covered. Nidoqueen would be freaking great on the team, and I'm very excited to be using this thing again. It did great in colors. Up in our NU, I noticed we did not have very many Speedymons, so I wanted a Selgor. A Selgor has that base 145. Well, actually, we have Jolteon, don't we? And Charizard now is pretty fast. Anyway, oh, and Mew, base 100, 100, 110, 130, 130. Speed can't hurt you. We got a Selgor. Now, a Selgor can do some pretty awesome things. We could run Specs or Scarf. We can go Unburden and run a Berry. So this thing can, you know, come in with more speed. And then hit you with that Bug Buzz, hit you with that Energy Ball, hit you with a Focus Blast. It's even got Water Shuriken if we so choose. We could U-turn on out. We have access to Spikes and Toxic Spikes, which I think is the big reason why I wanted this thing, is we have a Spiker. And we have Giga Drain for that recovery. Honestly, a Selgor is pretty friggin' awesome, I feel like. I loved it when I used it back when I was trying to Sawk team for RU in 6th gen. And I think a Selgor would be great. If we don't get it, then I guess we'll go on to our next pick, which I won't mention yet. And then maybe something else that might be more bulky. I think that would be what we'd be going to, even though, you know, speed, bulk, whatever. Kind of different, but it is what it is. I'm not going to think about it too much right now. I've already put way too much thought into this. Next for our NU picks will be Ambipom. Now, Ambipom is something that I used last season, and I thought it was freaking amazing. We can run Silk Scarf here, and that can power up our Tail Slaps and our Fake Outs, as well as Return. We also have access to Double Hit, which, well, Return isn't powered up by Technician, but it is powered up by the Silk Scarf that I talked about. Double Hit is powers up Technician. We can even run Special if we so chose to, and run the Hidden Powers. We also have access to Knock Off, Low Kick, Ice Punch, Seed Bomb, Shadow Claw, Thunder Wave U-turn, so this thing can really get in, do some business, get out if we want it to, or we could even band it and then watch it just destroy my opponent. Ambipump's really good mon. Its defenses and its HP kind of suck, but that's why it's so speedy and why it's so strong. I think Ambipump would be perfect for us. Now to go into the kind of, what are they called? Oh yeah, the thing at the end where we're drafting the 3 Pokemon. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and draft an NU, a UU, and an RU because that adds up to 14. And it's possible that I could just go NU, 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 or NU, NU, RU, or some other combination of lower ones that don't include any of the top 2 tiers, so I can go ahead and move up on the order list for picking your Z crystals, but I feel like this is just fine anyway. I don't really have a big order on what I want to pick these guys in, so I'll just put them up on the layout at the same time. We got Delmise for NU, Primarina for UU, and Arcanine for RU. Now I would probably pick Delmise first because it's a nice grass ghost type. We don't have any ground resists really on the squad, or a grass type, or a ghost type. Now this does add to my fire weakness with these 2 right here. But we got an Alomomola, we got a Charizard, we got a Nidoqueen. I figure that fire isn't exactly something that we really have to deal with. Plus we have Mew who can learn water moves, as well as I don't know, I'm sure Ambipom can help out in some way, shape, or form. Plus, you know, Alomomola. And this thing has Steel Worker, which means we pretty much have Steel type stab. And we have a 131 attack stat, 110 defense, 90's pretty good in special defense. We don't really give a shit about speed here. This thing is a pretty good defender. We have access to, do we have Willow? We don't have Willow, that's rough. But we do have access to Anchor Shot, we got Shadow Ball, Power Whip, we have the Rapid Spin, which is what I'm pretty excited to use on this thing. Pain Split, Knockoff, Iron Head, quite a bit of pretty useful moves we could use. We could even use Sludge Wave if we wanted to. Synth. We got the Swords Dance. Switcheroo, we could Scarf this thing and give the Scarf to somebody else. I did not know this thing could use Surf, it's crazy. We have an 86 special attack, so I mean if we wanted to make it mod, I don't, you know, you never know in draft. It really just depends. I think Delmise would be great because it can resist a bunch of things that I don't have covered yet, and it's nice mod. Up next we got Primarina. What can I say? It's a fairy type, it's a water type, it can help against the fire I was talking about. Plus, you know, we don't really have a fairy type yet, so I would love to have a fairy because it's kind of my favorite type and the best type in the game, most broken type in my opinion. We have Torrent or Liquid Voice. You'll probably see me run Torrent, but you never know because Liquid Voice only really helps you with Hyper Voice. So I mean, I guess Ghost will be hit. We could definitely choice specs this thing and just watch it run through my opponent's team. We could even assault vest it if we really wanted to be especially defensive. But we got access to Scald. We also have the Sparkling Aria, Energy Ball. We have Psychic, Ice Beam, Moonblast. We have, I think, yeah, we have Magic Coat, so we could bounce back some rocks if we really wanted to. We have the Rest, so we could Rest Talk, I think. Yeah, Talk. We don't have anything as far as, or do we have Calm Mind? I think we do, don't we? Do we not? We have something. Right? Please? We don't? Well, no type of Crocoon type sets here, but we do have access to Icy Wind to slow down our opponents. Sing if we really wanted to put some people to sleep. You know, just a bunch of things we could really do with Primarina. I love Primarina. It's my favorite one of the Alola starters, and it's the best one in my opinion. And water types are great. Last but not least, we have Arcanine. Besides Zard, we don't really have a fire type. And this thing can learn Willow. It's pretty awesome. You could run Intimidate, set the defensive Willow, Morning Sun, Flare Blitz, Extreme Speed type thing. Or you could run completely offensive, banded with the Wild Charge. You could even try to run Special because it's got a pretty nice special attack stat. Just not very many special moves. You could see that's more of a physical Pokemon. But I think, Yeah, it's a little bit more physical. But that doesn't mean that it would be a bad idea, because draft, you're not necessarily using your standard move sets in draft. And Arcanine, I just had a really good experience with it last season. I think the season before I might have had it too. So, yeah, you know, Arcanine's pretty good. And if we don't get Arcanine, we could always draft Entei in the UU spot and maybe pick up something else in RU that's water type. Let's check out what we got, because I would really like something that would replace the Primarina. I guess it would be Araquanid. Is there a fairy? Probably Florges is down there, isn't it? Yeah, we could pick up Florges or even Gardevoir. I'd probably pick Florges, if anything. But yeah, that is that. And I haven't really explained the Z crystals. How those are going to be getting picked is... it really depends on the 14 points that you use, because if you don't... However many points you use is how much farther down on the list you're going to be choosing your Z crystal. So if you pick 3 NU Mons rather than emptying out your points, you're picking 2, 4, 6, you'll have 6 points used, and that is 8 points left over, which means you'll have 8 points going towards your priority in that draft. And other than that, we're going in the order that we placed in for Season 3, which, as far as my knowledge goes, the first couple of people going would be Gage, Jonathan, then myself, Jacob. Then I think it's either Adam or Matt, I'm not sure, but then it goes down that way. And then to our individuals who weren't participating in Season 3. So your points, your placement, and then everybody else. That's how that is going to go. Kind of give our seasoned draft vets some, I don't know, some, I guess, a reward for coming out so many times, I guess is a good way to put it. So yeah, tell me what you think in the comments below. You can see on the, I want to say the right side, you'll be looking at it at the right side, you can see what Pokemon I'm using. You can tell me what you think I should draft, what I could have thought about more, I guess. And I haven't really revealed my Z Crystal. That's what this Sawks here for. We got the Fighting Nim Z that I want to draft, because this thing gets Focus Blast, this thing gets Dynamic Punch, we got Close Combat over here. I think Primarina gets a freaking fighting move. If not, then, oh, Hidden Power Fighting. Never mind, doesn't work. But we have, Mew can learn any fighting move. We got Scizor with the, Scizor's got Superpower. Just all these guys get some pretty nice fighting moves. It's pretty much just kind of universal on the team. And if we do not get that, then I would like the Buggy MZ, because we got a Selgor, we got Ambipom who learns bug moves. Of course Mew, we've got Scizor, I think I said that already. We got the Signal Beam here on Jolteon. A lot of people can learn the Buggium moves, and if not that, then we have Ghostium on the brain, because, you know, Mew, of course. Shadow Ball here, Shadow Ball here, Shadow Ball here, Shadow Claw, Shadow Claw, Shadow Ball. I think Arcanine doesn't get any. I think he just gets Hidden Power Ghost. So yeah, we have a lot there, and if all else fails, Normalium Z, because we can always just Z something. And plus, adding on to that, we have Z Curse with Scizor, Z Curse with something else, I think, on the team. So yeah. I think that is all I really have to say about the draft. I will put the rules in the description, the updated rules, and I might be covering... No, I don't think I will be covering what all the other teams have picked. I might just put up... I don't know. I'll figure it out in post. Like this video if you are excited for the PDL. Subscribe if you have not already, because I will be covering every single battle this time. I know last season I tried that and it didn't exactly work out because I got lazy, but this season I'm definitely covering it just like I covered every battle in the colors off season. And I'm just so happy. I'm so ready for this draft. This has been your boy, SnowyKurama. We'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.